Hello, my dear sewing friends. Now, if you need some additional ideas, inspiration, motivation for things that you can sew as gifts for this holiday season, then this video is going to be right up your alley, because that's exactly what I'm doing today. Well, actually, this entire week, because I do have a really long list of things that all of my friends and family have requested for me to make for them this holiday season. So we have a lot of work to do. And we're going to start with something super simple. We're going to gradually work our way up, and this is something that my mom and my sister have requested. They've seen this in real life and they're like, ooh, we wouldn't mind having one of these. Now, I use this for brushes because I do paint. However, you can use this for makeup, you can use this as a travel organizer, for crochet hooks, for sewing tools and knitting tools, and a lot of different other things. So this is a really nice nifty little organizer. Now, this is a jacket that I made more than 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5 years ago, and I really love the fabric, but I don't know, this jacket just never really took its place in my wardrobe, and it's a shame because it's a really nice one. So I'm just gonna use this fabric, which is in great condition. This way we're actually gonna get a gift and an upcycle 2-in-1. And the fabric here, as I said, it's not only in great condition, it's actually in excellent condition. So if you are unsure whether you can upcycle something to make a gift for somebody, always make your best judgment upon the quality of the fabric or whatever else materials you're using. All I'm doing here, I'm just simply cutting it apart so that way I can see how much fabric do I have. Okay, the sleeves are off. Now cutting up the rest of it. Alright, so now that I have the piece of fabric that I'm going to be working with, I gotta cut my rectangles out, and it really is that simple, just a rectangle. So here I have a simple printer sheet that I'm going to use as a template. And you can of course use like the length of the toothbrush or the makeup brush or whatever you're making this for. So for each one of these organizers, I have cut 1 rectangle for the outside of the fabric and 1 rectangle just from linen, because that's what worked really well for me, for the inside of the organizer. And then you will also need some bias tape to go around it. So now what we're going to do, and by the way, I decided that for my sister, I'm gonna go with this really fun, colorful fabric because, I mean, she loves to paint, but her style is a little bit different, so I thought this would fit really well. And that's what handmade gifts are all about, right? Making something super personalized and something super special. So now what I'm doing here is just I'm attaching both of the rectangles together and doing the bias tape on the edges of the organizer. I have a full tutorial on my channel that explains step by step what to do, when to do it, and how to do it for this particular project. So I'm not gonna go into nitty-gritty, I'm gonna leave it for you guys in the info box below. But for this next step, you're gonna need a little bit of elastic. Take elastic, put it across, and cut a little bit longer than the actual width of your organizer. Then go ahead and fold it under like so that way no raw edges are visible. And then we're going to mark 1/2 inch increments, so that way we create little slots for all of your stuff to go in. Then the last thing you gotta do is attach the elastic to your organizer, then sew on the little string that will hold it all together, and that's it, you're done. Alright, the final review of the first set of gifts. This next one we're gonna go over really quick because by now I think everybody knows how to make one. And yes, we're talking about scrunchies. These are tried and true. Everybody loves them, kids, adults. You can make them in different colors from different materials depending what you're going for. You can go for really scrunchies. You can go for something a little bit thinner. Now I like to organize mine either in a set of 3 on a little cardstock piece. I think that looks really nice, or 1 by 1 and then I add a little little tag like this, and I think that looks really nice as well. Now, if you don't know how to make a scrunchie, then I do have a video for you on the channel that will explain how to do that, because I make mine with wide elastic, therefore they're more durable and they're just nicer for feel as well. They don't feel cheap, they feel like a solid scrunchie. And with these, I also like to add little bows, bigger bows. These you can make from scrap fabric, and they make a great stocking stuffer, again, for kids and adults alike. I gotta add, headbands also make a really great stocking stuffer. I've made them in the past and people absolutely love them. I do have a free sewing pattern for a cute little headband that ties right here at the top, and I'll leave that for you guys in the info box below. Okay, since we're on the roll with these smaller projects, let's go ahead and do this next one. For that, I'm gonna grab this white elastic that I purchased at Joann's some time ago. Look at how sparkly it is. When I saw it, I was like, oh, hello there. Before, for this particular project, I used just regular elastic, and that works as well, but sparkles make everything better. So this is for my friend who mentioned that it would be so great to have a small convenient wrist purse where she could store her belongings or small things while she's doing farmer's market and things like that. And I was like, hey, I have already done those in the past, so this is for her. And I have already grabbed a little scrap piece of neoprene that I had in my stash. Now, you don't have to use neoprene, you can use any materials, woven or stretch, as long as they hold shape and sturdy enough. Not super sturdy, but you know, something that will be not too thin. And then I've already went ahead and attached a zipper in the middle. This is just a regular zipper exposed like that. This is 6 inches by 6 inches and a zipper right in the middle. And the first thing that I'm going to do is place these right sides together, and I'm going to sew them. Now, I do have a step-by-step tutorial for this particular project, so if you want to see the nitty-gritty and the step-by-step, you will find it there. Once the back side has been sewn together, I gotta go ahead and cut the elastic. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it this wide. This is really so easy, so straightforward, absolutely lovely project and useful. That's the most important part, it's useful. I'm gonna take this little thing right over here and the elastic, I'm gonna place it in with the sparkly side facing the zipper. There we go. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and sew across. Once this is done, I'm gonna go ahead and fold in the flaps, because this is where the elastic ends. So I'm gonna fold in the flaps to the back side, and I'm gonna sew across one more time, so that way these flaps are now in place. Once one end is done, you're gonna do exactly the same thing on the other end. Just don't forget 2 things. Number 1, try it on before you do the final seam, so that way you know it's not too tight and not too loose. And then also don't forget to leave the zipper open, so that way you can actually turn the entire wrist pouch right side out. And here's the final reveal. For this one, I'm actually really excited to use up a lot of my fabric scraps, especially the colorful ones, because I need to make 10 of these. Now, my daughter has 10 kids in her group, and every Christmas I make something for them as a little gift. So here's what we're going to do. I like to use medium weight cotton for this, and we're going to need 2 pieces for each one of the pouches. One piece will be 11 inches by about 8 inches, and I do like to lightly interface them. It's not necessary, but I just had some extra interfacing of this green color, so I thought, you know what, let me just use this up over here. And then the same size will be for the inside lining. And then you will need the little piece of fabric for the handle, which is going to be 10 inches by about 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches will be great as well. And of course, you're going to need a zipper as well. These are going to be assembled pretty much exactly the same way as that little wrist pouch that we made, just slightly different, but everything else is going to be very, very similar. Here is our zipper teeth down on the right side of the fabric, like so, and we're gonna sandwich it with the lining. There we go. Now we're gonna attach the zipper, and if you would like to, you can also turn it, once it's done, turn it this way and top stitch it as well. All right, to add the zipper to the other side, go ahead and take this one, place it right over here, then go ahead and grab it, flip it, grab the lining, and there we go. This is the sandwich that you're gonna have. So the lining and the outer fabric are gonna be separate for now, but once they're both attached to the other side of the zipper, you will be able to turn them right side out and they will be attached like they should be. Okay, so this is how it looks right now, but if I actually go ahead and turn it right side out, you will see that everything comes together just perfectly. There we go, you see? There's a little pouch coming together. When I sew these little handles, I do that in the simplest way possible. I just go ahead and fold them in like I would do that with a bias tape. So both of the ends to the middle, and then go ahead and fold it in one more time, and then straight stitch that will secure the whole thing in place. Here's the little pouch. Let's go ahead and turn it wrong side out like so. Here's the bottom. Go ahead and place it like that, so that way the zipper is right in the middle, and we're going to sew across it just like we did for that little wrist pouch. Once done, we're gonna fold it in as well. So what we wanna do is we wanna take this flap, fold it in just up until the zipper, and we want to do the same thing on the other side. And then just like with the wrist pouch, we're going to go ahead and stitch across one more time. Once this is done, it will look like so. Now let's go ahead and finish the seam. You can do that with a tightly spaced zigzag stitch. I like to do that on a serger, but either way, please be very careful when you're going over the zipper teeth, so that way you don't break the needle and you don't break your sewing machine or your serger. So please be very careful anytime you work with a zipper, with a serger and a sewing machine. So now we're going to repeat exactly the same steps on the top. Just don't forget to open up the zipper teeth, so that way you will be able to turn this pouch right side out. The only difference is that we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this little handle and we're going to insert it on the inside wherever you would like that handle to go, and we're going to sew it that way. After both sides are finished, all we have to do is to turn them right side out. Now, do you remember I made these during my handmade button experiment? So these were made out of resin, and these molds were originally for earrings. Now, I was thinking about it, and this just came to me out of nowhere, and I turned them into keychains or zipper pull tabs. So these are gonna go into the zipper thingies of each one of these pencil pouches, and I think this is going to be so cute. Okay, so here is the final reveal. To those little pencil pouches, here's another really great idea. I used to stitch my greeting cards like that, and then I saw a friend do a notebook like this, and I thought, wow, what a great idea to use up some leftover materials. So for that, you will need some scrapbooking paper if you have some, and of course just regular printer sheets, and this goes really quick. Choose the scrapbooking paper for the cover of the notebook, and then cut it down to the size of your printer paper like so. Once done, go ahead, fold in half both the scrapbooking paper and the printer sheets as well. Then go ahead and place them together. Use clips if you have to hold everything in place, and then choose a longer stitch and then just stitch them down with a straight stitch, and that's it. It is done. Now, here are two quick little tips when you're doing this. Number one, use the needle that is at least medium in size, so that way it doesn't break. And number two, use a needle that is at the end of its lifespan. So for example, right now, I've done so many projects with this particular needle, and it's getting there, so I can use it so that way I don't dull a completely new needle. Now guys, I've done so many handmade gifts over the years. It's just, wow, there's a lot of videos on the channel. So if you need more ideas, go ahead and click right over here, and I'll see you in those videos. Bye!